Wednesday mornings, as the day before weigh-ins. We're here at the Snack Shack. That's what we call it. It's where all of our nutritional needs are pretty much here. So this breakfast that I just finished up is kind of extension of what we call the Gold Medal Cafe. So it's something that with Nuani and our previous nutritionist, Rob Skinner, basically something we started at Colorado Springs, where we would just get good quality meals. It's just something that we put a lot of emphasis in. Myself and a handful of other guys, and over the years it's increased over time, where we put a big investment into our nutrition. We believe it makes a big difference in our training and our recovery and our performance. So communicating that, they started the Gold Medal Cafe. So when we go to training camps, we get better quality food, and then they bring it on these trips. They bring these hot pans, and more right now it's more just around breakfast, but getting a good solid breakfast in is going to do wonders for your performance when you train. A lot of people want to skip breakfast, and obviously weight management has obviously had effect on those things, but I'm blessed where I can still have a good breakfast, and this will fuel me to have a good training session today. Really my last training session before I compete tomorrow. Gonna go for a walk, grab a coffee, and then my plan today is I'll work out this morning. Really, it's just the work is done now. Now it's about just getting your weight down, feeling good. So about an hour probably, then come back, have some lunch, hang out, and then later tonight I'll grab a sauna, get down to weight. Tomorrow I'll weigh in, and it's time to rock. So it's exciting. This is my favorite part. It's my favorite part because everything's done. Now you just rely on your preparation, belief in your abilities, feel good, go do what I do best. When I've been training, I've had some frustration, difficulties with, just like I said, like nagging injuries and whatever it may be, leading up to this. But then being here, being able to focus on training and recovering, and being able to see these guys, wrestling becomes effortless again. It's fun, it's enjoyable. I can put myself in so many more positions and work through them. So wrestling and training has been a lot of fun. And I feel really good, really prepared. So it just takes a lot of people to help you perform at your best. And obviously really grateful that Pav could make the trip. It's made a big difference for me.
If you're excited about it, you're going to have good results. And I feel like he's at that point right now. I think that he's maybe last year at the World Championships he wasn't as excited as he was for the Olympics. It was just something that he was doing, and I think he's excited again. So that gets me excited as a coach to see that.
What I like to see is a joy and almost a playfulness before he competes. and that's what we've seen the last couple weeks. He normally is, but the last couple weeks, he's been as good as ever. So we're excited to see him get out there. And this is really going to happen with somebody that wants to continue to stay in the game. Is he's matured in a way that he's able to approach those things differently, and he's able to work with them more than sometimes a young athlete would. So at this point, I don't see it a concern at all.
Our job is to make sure that he stays in his routine all the way through, right? So him and I kind of like talk about, hey, what do you normally do? And then I will create what his body is used to, what his body is needing leading up to the competition, and then just make sure that he gets his routine going. And sometimes it gets a little bit difficult, right? Especially in outside of the U.S. But we bring in some the trouble kitchen to make sure that we get what he needed. But we do some like nutrition planning, and then trying to get the macros all lined up. So that he has enough energy, he gets recovery that he needs it, and then that's really what we're doing. There's no secret or no magic here. It's more that making sure that he stays in that zone and then routine at all times. So just keep that consistency going.
Well, I think this is, David's coming off a year following an Olympic gold medal, right? Which I think was his goal his whole life. And so now it's kind of resetting and trying to determine, okay, now what, right? Like what's the goal now? Is it to go win another gold medal in 2024? And so I think this is just part of that process and him trying to kind of determine, what path he's going to take, right? I think he's planning on, wrestling for another gold medal, but he's had a lot of things obviously in his life. He's got a lot going on. He's got businesses, his nutrition store and his kids club, which is one of the best in the country. And then he's still at such a high level wrestling wise that he's got the ability to keep winning if that's what he wants to do. Obviously he's here, so that's the goal, but I think that's probably something that he's been trying to figure out and been wrestling with is just, okay, now what? And I think that's a pretty common thing for at least in our sport, right? If you reach the pinnacle, it's like, okay, well, now what? Where do we go from here? So I think this is a really good opportunity for him to kind of get back in the, in the middle of just big event and world championship and see where he's at. Obviously, he's ready to go. He's training. He's been working hard, and he's just. But you also, when you get older, your training changes a little bit. You can rely more on your technical expertise, your just experience, and his mat savvy. It's like really high level, obviously. But then he's also relied on his conditioning. So he just has a combination of things he can focus on or rely on. So it'll be interesting to see how he competes. But I think it's just in his nature. He's going to go compete hard and he's going to score points. That's what he does. That was a long answer, but it's kind of a tough question too, with him. I mean, he's got one of the best wrestlers pound for pound in the world at his weight, and Yazdani. And then you're focused on that match, which will be a final match, but you also have to beat some of the other best wrestlers in the world along the way, right? So it's a tricky not to overlook those early matches, but also be ready for the big ones, right? So, but everyone's big because if you don't win, you're not moving on. So you just got to take it one match at a time, and one position at a time. And he's always been very good for that.
All right, so we just made weight. Now we're getting ready to head back to the hotel, relax for a little bit, and then come back. So my routine, it's been for a long time. I like to use the morning before weigh-ins as my warm-up. I have a bye first round, so it starts at 10:30. I probably won't wrestle till probably between 11:30 and 12, just depending on the 17th match. So depending on
speed of the matches. Usually kind of take into account of like 8 minutes per match, for a full match. But in the qualifying round, sometimes there's some pit text and stuff that go a little faster. But preparing yourself to go out, and, whatever happens, however the match goes, if I'm scoring first, if they're scoring first, doesn't really matter. We got 6 minutes to build, and just taking one match at a time. So I'm excited, healthy, grateful to be here, and I'm really looking forward to compete. This is my 4th World Olympic, Olympic World Championship. So 2018, 2000, 2001. And first match down, I got takedown. I got 4 bell wrenches, so it's a quick match. Now I'm getting ready to come up here in the quarterfinals. So they're holding all the quarterfinals. So probably another 20, 30 minutes, and I'll be up again, and I'll break before the semis. I got Ethan Ramos from Puerto Rico. Way to roll.
For you, this obviously, this is what you've been working for. Ooh, it's interesting. Preparation's been really good. I got a really good piece of advice. I said, hey, the horse you got the town with isn't necessarily the same horse you get the next town. Success my whole life, and as I get older and have a family, I had a lot of things going on, so it's been a year of adapting, making changes on the fly, and the last 2 weeks have been great for me. I feel like I'm the best I've ever been.
Second match of the day, wrestled Puerto Rico, tech fall. So it's been good. Parterre is something that I've been working on this year a lot, knowing that make my life a little easier. And it has. I probably saved myself having to get 6 different takedowns. Each match, getting turns on top. If I get this 6-point lead, I'm match over. So it's good to have that. Working on it, good validation. But now obviously the match is going to keep getting more difficult. Next match I got Kazakhstan. Finals, tech fall Kazakhstan 11-0. The match started a little slow and built. That's kind of what I felt would happen. He's pretty defensive, so those guys just gotta be patient. You gotta build as the match goes. So he was good. I like that. It was a good test. My first couple matches were pretty quick. To get one where I had to score some points in the second period. Going into tomorrow night, it's the marquee matchup of the tournament, marquee matchup of the year. Me and Yazdani, round 5. So, I won the Olympics last year, beat him in the finals in the last seconds. He beat me at the World Championships 8 weeks later, and it's been a close match. I was in on takedowns to win. I didn't. First time I lost in a while, and that's kept me hungry this year. And I'm looking forward to wrestling him again. It's going to be a battle. Looking forward to the opportunity. This is the first time wrestling him that I've really gone in with a game plan. With some adjustments specific, to wrestling him. So, I'm excited to put these things to a test, and this is why we're here. This is the show. It's the big show. So, looking forward to that. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be electric tomorrow night.
buddy. Happy birthday.
Say hi, Dada.
So today's, yesterday was first day of the World Championship, and went really as I expected. Just, not, I just expect I have a high expectation for myself. So, everything went really well yesterday. One area of emphasis for me this year has been working in parterre. So getting turns when I'm on top, just knowing that it makes my life easier as I get a little bit older. I think over the last 4 or 5 years, I've just, I've put so much effort into my strength conditioning. When I go out there, I just want to maul people, use my conditioning, my strength, where I just want to throw them down. And, it's a very high energy, high output type of, competition. So I haven't really had a chance outside the practice room to really work on the stuff that we've been working on a lot. Final X was kind of a, it's to make world team, so it's, you want to just do what you got to do to make the team, really more or less. Handful of turns. So that was good. And then, had a break. And then in the finals, wrestled Hassan, who I'd wrestled in the past. He's a tough guy. He's tricky. He beat Amin, which was a good win for him. And I expected to wrestle Amin in the semis. It's who I wrestled last year at the Olympics. He was third at the Olympics last year. The guy had some tricks. And, honestly, I think yesterday, too, just in my training, I've talked about, I made a lot of changes this year to adjust to how I feel. I think, the way I've been training for the last 5-6 years, you want to do what you've been successful with, but I just couldn't do that anymore. Like that high intensity volume of training, my body was just falling apart. I was hurt all the time, and I was very frustrated and discouraged for a lot of this year, which really one of the reasons why I competed only competed one time. So a lot of changes had to be made, and I think it kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm 4, 5, 6 weeks out. I need to focus on just being the best wrestler that I can be. And I know that if I feel good in my mind and my body, if I can not be in as much pain and stuff, then I can go out and wrestle at a high level. So that was a big change, kind of like, hey, these are all the things I've been doing for a long time. I have to change that so I can feel better, to make that change. And then believing in my coaches and stuff, made that change. And then, this preparation for this tournament has been so different than any of the things that I've done in the past. But I feel like my body feels really good, a lot of times you practice these things in practice, as an athlete and also as a coach, like we work on these things all the time. And then the kid goes out there and they just go back and do what they feel confident in. Like, man, we got to make progress. For me, it's like, all right, well, this year, it's like, these are all the things we're working on. Well, now it's the World Championships. You got to go do that stuff, So, you're in that fine line. That whistle blows. You're like, all right, well, do I go back and do the things that I've been doing? And that was kind of, my body was, I'm having a hard time and hurting. Or do I go work on the things that we've been working on, make my life easier, and I execute that stuff, the things that we've been working on, getting the turns on top. I only wrestled for 7.5 total minutes yesterday, in 3 matches. One match is 6 minutes. So, I saved myself a lot of takedowns and effort. Which is good. So that's exciting. Can definitely take that back. Constantly making adjustments. I think yesterday, as the day went on, just a lot of like warming up, cooling down, wrestling 3 matches. Got up at 6:30 yesterday morning. Worked out in the morning to make weight. Used that as my warm up. Had a break. Had to warm back up again. Wrestled, break. Wrestle, break, longer break, warm up again, another match. Then I had to cut weight last night. I was sore. My body was sore. This morning I was sore. So this morning just basically got on the mat, just light enough to break a sweat. I was like a pound over this morning, just to make weight, just kind of save, an extra kind of mat go today. But now today is like a normal training day for me, get up, have good breakfast, good lunch. I'm gonna wrestle at 7:30.
7:30 tonight. So today's really just like couldn't be able to replicate what my training has been like for the last couple of weeks. So I'm excited. I'll definitely 100%. I'll feel the best tonight that I felt. I believe that very confidently, you know. And tonight I have Yazdani, rematch of last year's World Final, rematch of last year's Olympic Final. It's gonna be a tough match, but you know I put a lot of specific preparation in specifically to wrestle Yazdani this year. You know, I think in years past, I just wanted to be the best wrestler, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna beat everybody. I don't really care who it is. This year was specific. Almost all of my training was specifically to wrestle Yazdani. You know, I know that whatever I'm doing, I'm going to beat everybody doing those things. But Yazdani, you know, like what I've been doing was working, but started to get a little bit tougher. So this is the first time in a really long time that I've really made, you know, a specific adjustment to wrestling a person, and he needs that because he's so good at what he does, and he's a very tough competitor. You know, one of the few guys that have beaten me. So I'm excited for tonight. I really am excited, and this victory tonight will, I think, maybe be one of the best, most important ones I've ever had, only because of how challenging this year has been for me. You know, just so many different things going on at home, you know, just having a family, you know, coming off of reaching pinnacle thing I've been training my entire life for, you know, and kind of figuring out what's next for me. You know, I've always, like, everything I did my whole life was around being an Olympic champion. Every decision I made, you know, every time that I was like, should I drink this beer or should I go to sleep? You know, should I eat this way? Should I have cake? Should I cut out the carbs? Should I make the change to this? Should I cut out these things? You know, should I go to bed on time? You know, should I wake up and train this way? Should I sacrifice the things that I felt like I was sacrificing my whole life, you know? Was to be Olympic champion. It was every goal along the way, but everything was to be Olympic champion, you know, to, changing my diet, changing my routine, the training, the hard training, the like train till you feel like you're going to throw up and then keep going. You know, like it's hard to sustain that forever, you know, but I did, you know, everything was peak to prepare to be the Olympic champ. And once I did that, I was kind of like, all right, how do I train now? You know, and trying to find your why. You know, I always had a why. Why was always, I want to be the best, I want to be Olympic champ. And now this year, a lot of this year was trying to find my why. Why am I doing this? You know, when I have all these other things, you know, having a family that I want to spend more time with, you know, having my kids, that this stuff takes a lot of time away from being at home. Mentally, just like takes a lot away from being with my family. My youngest turns 1 today, you know, and she's here in Serbia at the World Championships. You know, it's not your typical birthday, and now it's just getting ready mentally tonight for a battle, putting the adjustments, you know, implementing them. I think that's a challenge, you know, for anybody. Is you can have, you know, a game plan, and you can have, you know, your preparation, but you know, it's not like I have 10 other people on the field, you know, and we're all dependent on each other. It's just me out there. It's just me and Yazdani. He has his plan. I have my plan. I don't think his plan is going to change at all from what we did the last time we wrestled, because that was his most success. But what I'm going to do tonight will be much different than what he saw in Oslo and what he saw in Tokyo. Get ready to rock and roll tonight.
David, get your head in the game. Let's go.
year. So who's your best friend?
Dad.
Daddy. I'll tell you what, this year has been so hard for me. I've contemplated retiring multiple times. I talked to my wife, and I just didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore. I've been at the top of what I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. I achieved my lifelong goal of being Olympic champion. I believe if I didn't go to World Championships, 8 weeks later, I'd probably be done. Going there and losing, it was hard. There were times the fire was bright. There were times that I was about to be smoldering and put out. But my wife, my coaches, my inner circle of people, I mean, they sat me down and said, what do you want? You've earned the right to do whatever you want to do. And I'm not a loser. I'm not going out losing. It feels freaking great. I was hurt all year, hard like a train. And the last 2 weeks has been unbelievable. Switch of focus, mentality, skill development, just got that fire, that will to win back again. And I need it tonight. This is the first time I've really gone into Hassan Yazdani with super strict intentions, and I followed that. And you know, this what makes, he's burning that fire for me to continue going. You know, he's that barrier between me and a gold medal in Paris. Got my kids home in the new training center. It's not always the best guy that wins. The best guy wins a lot. It's the person that believes in himself the most. Just believe in your abilities. Trust it, believe in it, and you'll go do it. And, you know, I did that.